going to talk about how we are using AWS Web Architects to accelerate our digital transformation and why you should do it. I am a global enterprise cloud architect holding multiples of AWS certifications. I am also ex-Amazonian, help our clients to migrate a number of workloads into the AWS and also helping the clients on their cloud adoption journeys. But before we go into details about how we're using web architecting to help our digital transformation, I would like to give you some more information about who TUI is and the scope and the scale of our challenge, and followed by TUI's cloud journey and how we're gonna using web architecture to help our digital transformation later. TUI is global organizations. We have our headquarters in Germany. We have a number of products that can offer to our customer. We have 5 airlines spread across 150 aircraft. We have 18 cruise ships and more than 400 hotels that can offer to our customer. We operate in 3 regions: Northern regions, Western regions, and Central regions. Each region they operate and manage their own products. In 2019, we have the program called TRIPS. So TRIPS bring all these products for each region come together in one place. We would like to create the best experience for our customer when they book a holiday with us. And also we would like to consolidate our airline together. And more importantly, we would like to increase our speed to market for our future development. We do all this in AWS. So I would like to show you the short clips of how TRIPS work. And when we come back, we talk about how TUI Cloud Journey is, followed by how we use web architects to help our digital transformation.
The travel industry has witnessed some pretty epic changes over the last few decades. No one could have predicted how customers would be interacting with travel brands today, let alone how they would be consuming travel content and booking getaways. TUI is at the forefront of this travel revolution. That's why we've created TUI Trips. You can think of Trips as the engine room of TUI. Its technologies will help position us as a one-stop travel shop that lets holidaymakers customize their own travel plans exactly the way they want. So, whether they want to book a ready-made package, add on extras to their holiday, or maybe arrange an excursion, Trips can make it happen. But if customers just want to book a flight, or perhaps just find somewhere to stay, Trips technologies can let them do that too. Plus, it's been developed with the future in mind, so we can add in other potential tech solutions for things like cruises, tours, car rentals, even train journeys. The possibilities are endless. So, how does it all work? Well, take a closer look and you'll see TUI Trips is powered by different tech solutions. It uses the best of our existing tech solutions, along with some new ones. In essence, Trips combines lots of systems, including product, pricing, selling, yield, payments, customer communications, and customer service into one single, open travel technology ecosystem. The result? A single scalable travel technology ecosystem that supports all of our different holiday products. And while customers don't actually see the technology behind Trips, they'll benefit from it every time they visit one of our websites, mobile apps, or travel agencies. Thanks to Trips, we'll be able to respond to customers' needs better than ever by providing more products and services from more partners than ever before, as well as increased flexibility and control. And of course, as a business, Trips will enable us to tap into new opportunities, broaden and grow our customer base, and help modernize our brand. Plus, because Trips is a group-wide platform, it'll help us optimize the way we package, price, and yield across all markets. And because it's a common tech solution, When we need to make changes, it'll be a case of change once for everyone, saving us time and money, which is better for our customer and better for TUI. But that's not all. Trips has been built using some of the very latest and greatest technologies on the market, which help us automate some of the ways we work in IT, improving the quality and efficiency of what we build. Not only that, some of these new technologies give us some really clever analytics, enabling us to improve our decision making and respond faster to our ever-changing customer behaviours. And because we've created Trips as a single, global travel platform, we'll be able to learn and grow together through common ways of working. Our partners will also benefit from Trips. It'll make it easier for them to work with us, which in turn will help drive their businesses. It's fair to say that thanks to TUI Trips, it really will be a case of think travel, think TUI.
This is our cloud journey. The orange lines on the diagrams is the standard benchmark from AWS on cloud adoption journeys. Our journeys start in 2017. At that time, we created a program called CMAP, or Cloud Migration Accelerator Program. We have selected one workload to migrate into the cloud. We call it WebStack. We also stand up multiple teams to help with the migration as well. We have GCDA team, we have landing zone team, we have Cloud Migration Factory team. GCDA stands for Global Cloud Design Authority, or you might know it as CCOE or Cloud Office now today. The responsibility of the teams is to provide principle, guideline, and standard, and also to create a safe environment for our developer and engineering teams when they want to land the application in the cloud. We have successfully migrating the web stack into the cloud. And after we successfully migrate to the cloud, we have learned that the web architecture can be very useful on any workload that we want to migrate into the cloud. Fast forward into 2019, when we scale out our adoptions to multiple environments, or TRIPS program, we have discovered that different teams have a different maturity. And at this point, we acknowledge that web architecture is a key for us to success to migrate into the cloud, and key for us to succeed on the TRIPS program. Our adoption of web architecture framework starts with the SharePoint, which you see on the left-hand side of the graph. We extract information from web architecture best practice and combine the content with our own policy. And then we ask our user to apply those policies when they create workload within the cloud. Later on, we acknowledge that modern standard we concentrate on infrastructure only and less operational or performance area. At TRIPS program, we make web architecture into next level. We ensure all TRIPS environments have to conduct the web architecture review every 6 months. And we also do this at their account as well, so that the owner of the workloads own their own roadmaps and adjust prioritizations based on the milestones. And they also share their web architecture result to our central web architecture account as well for single view. The graph on the right hand side is an example of KPI view that we have linked from our reporting systems to our web architecture central account. As a result, each owner or stakeholder of the workloads now can see their maturity level, and they can prioritize their capacity accordingly to make it better and to increase their cloud maturity. We have go to the next levels as well. We go one step further. We create platform standard, which is still based on web architecture, but it gives more clarity on what should be configured on all AWS components. The reason we create platform standards to ensure we configure in the same way and easy for integration, especially when you're working with a team of 12 countries and in the event-driven environment as well. One of the great benefits is that we can reuse the same pattern over and over again and make it quicker for our application to the market as well. Today, we have 3 platform standards categories. We have infrastructure, we have application integration, which is also including analytics as well in there, and we also have the security. For example, AWS SNS component. We have standard on how the reliability should work when consumer successfully receiving message from the producer and the message get missing. Today, we have 32 standards and increasing. It helps speed up our developments a lot and a clear message to our developer and engineer community. And that's the end of my presentation. I hope you found it enjoyable and useful.
All right, so we are actually joined over Skype by Ray himself, who is. Where are you, Ray? Actually, are you in the UK?
I'm in Cambridge. Yes, I'm in UK in Cambridge. Yeah, so that direction. Yeah. So.
Gotcha. So not quite as far away as we got Kerala or.
No. When I see those people from India and Turkey, it's very amazing. We suffering raining tears, didn't we?
Yeah, great stuff. Cool. So. I mean, obviously, in the travel industry, you've had a sort of difficult time over the last couple of years. Has that, though? Like, I could imagine that sort of from a technology or infrastructure IT perspective, maybe made your lives a bit easier. Like you're running fewer things, and so you can take stuff down and fiddle with it. Is that fair, or am I completely wrong there?
Yeah, pretty much. You're quite right. Basically, we took that opportunity to accessorize some of the programs like trips, for example. We because the plane's down, right? So basically, we took the opportunity to maintain and accessorize, like develop and migrate a lot of applications that we planning to do for the past few years to be able to accessorize in the past within like 18 months. So which is like great time for ITs, really.
Yeah, I think we've been very lucky, haven't we, as IT people, to be able to continue to work through all of this nonsense, but also to sort of, I guess, take the opportunity of things being not as heavily used to make the changes that we're looking for. So what you're doing is pretty interesting to me, because like my organisation is a consultancy. We work quite a lot with well architected, but obviously we're working with teams who are spread across different companies and who are paying us for our expertise. You are, I guess, inside an organization working with, probably similar numbers of teams, but like they're not paying you. You're sort of showing up and saying, well, we have to do this. This is a requirement. How do you go about, I guess, getting buy-in from, I can't remember how many teams you said you were supporting there, but it sounds like there's a lot of human challenge there as well as technology challenge, right?
It is, you're right. It's a culture change, right? And our ultimate goal is to ensure that the owner of the workloads understands, the meaning of each pillar on the web architecture and also automation. Our aims is to ensure that those the owner of the workloads can conduct the review themselves going forward. Mm-hmm. So that's the only way to scale, right? So we at first we have like a review some of the workloads leading by AWS team. And we have like our team, which is the enabler teams, channel them and learn and practice and have feedback loop and become a very guru. And then that's how we scaled it out. And then we just like have the enabler team to go out and talk to the conduct the review with the workload, the owner of the workload. And the owner of the workloads can be like the architect people, the developer team or engineering team, that kind of stuff. But the most important thing that we have cloud champion also sitting on that review as well. So cloud champion is a person that nominates by each domain. So each domain, we have 24 domains. Each domain have to nominate their own cloud champion to be sitting there to ensure that they can apply the best practice that what we that learn from web architecture and go back to that domain and ensure they apply to that. And then when we also go even further, we have like a cloud community of practice as well, which is like our enablers in there and also the cloud champions in there. The objective is to ensure that to help them with any high risk item that we identify during the result from the web architecture and help them with remediation tasks, something tangible, right? Something that the team can go back and create a ticket and put into that like a ticket board, right? So that is very key, important to how to scale that out.
Mm-hmm. So I guess that cloud champion thing's very much from the AWS cloud adoption framework playbook, right? The kind of finding people who can care about cloud and want to sort of champion it in the you say domain. What is a domain? I guess in your parlance, is that a sort of a particular area of the business? Is it a particular technology type?
Yes, as we are like moving from like a project to domain type, right? We have like 7 master domains. Spread across 24 domains. 24 domains deliver the services that build up, become trips, right? Become reservation, become inventory, accommodation. So 24 domains that look after each component. For example, to look after reservation, thing like that.
Right, and the was this work actually taking workloads from on-premises platforms and moving them into the cloud, or was this a modernization of an existing cloud estate? How did that look?
So we built greenfield. So we built everything from scratch.
Right.
So we like, as you can see from our cloud adoption, we do our first workload, which is like a migrating web stack into the cloud in 2017. We learned that the way you adopt it, if we're gonna pick the workload, it's gonna slow, so like a migration, the thing that we have to carry on from, from the on-prem as well. So we decided to greenfield, create light for light in cloud. Right. So we have another version in cloud, basically.
Right. And is this were you sort of taking, I guess, existing applications and rewriting them to work in the cloud, or were you
correct?
Sort of,
you're right.
Okay, so completely from scratch, the whole thing.
Okay.
Yes. That's quite ballsy, isn't it? Like replace the whole thing in one go.
It is. Like I said, we learned from the previous exercise that we did in 2017. It's gonna take us like more than 5 years to migrate everything into cloud. So it will be quicker to create everything, the same logic, but create everything that we can, how can I say, modernize the cloud native, we will do. Right? We recreate everything to Lambda, using, cluster, some of the cluster that we had on-prem, we just move everything to EKS, the cluster, and using containers a lot.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you talk a bit about standardization here, and I guess the 2 ways that I've seen platform teams supporting multiple other delivery teams is one of either, here are our Terraform scripts or our CloudFormation scripts or whatever, go and run those and you'll have an environment, off you go, but don't do anything different and weird because we can't support that. On the other hand, you've got the sort of, you put some guardrails and some safety nets around those teams and you say, okay, you can do anything you like as long as you don't trigger any of these alarms, and if you do, come and talk to us and we'll figure out how to work around that. Where on that spectrum are you with those teams?
Yeah, so the team provide the code to accelerate and provide a safe environment for our application to develop the application, right? Mm-hmm. So there will be some of the templates that are compulsory that they have to use and they cannot change, right? So the thing that is, this is different to guardrail that you can normally apply from SAP, from organization structure from AWS. This is like the code, like for example, the inbound and outbound from from the VPC, number of VPC that you have to use, they are built into clause. Like for example, the availability, availability set up that within your application by default, you have to have that like 2 availability zone by default, that kind of stuff. Yeah. So they're built in and the team accelerate that for us.
Right, and so the individual teams. Are they taking your CloudFormation or Terraform templates and running those sort of in their own environment? Do you set that up for them and then give them a sort of give them users that they can play with. What's the kind of handoff there, and how much
Yeah.
of that do you run and support versus help them run and support?
So at the very beginnings, we have to hold their hand. We have to, like our cloud enabler show them how to use that. So we have the code in our central repository, like standard code repository that everyone have to use it. And also later on, they can check out, branching out from our Git repository, and then they can change, their own code. And then they can check their own code. However, we have the way to check as well that comply to our standards. We're using APS configs to check and send notification to that account owner straight away. Hey guy, you guys not comply with the standards. What's going on? Right?
Yeah,
that kind of stuff.
Gotcha. Well, I noticed you mentioned landing zone earlier. Have you been able to kind of move that and sort of adopt control tower and sort of bring everything into control tower, or are you still sort of living with that huge mess of landers and step functions that landing zone was a couple of years ago?
No, the short answer is we are looking to adopt move it to control tower now. I mean, in the next coming months, because we are the very early adoption of the AWS. They don't have control tower at that time. We have to do everything, cloud config, SCP, things like that. We develop our own roles, things like that. So yeah, we are, and then we are we aware that some of the stuff we can go much faster with control tower, no doubt, right? So we are looking to adopt that as well.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think we've got some customers who are on landing zone because we started building that stuff in the past, and we're now doing a lot of control tower, and we're sort of looking at how do we move from one to the other. It's a bit challenging.
Much faster.
Yes, absolutely, and evolving all the time in a way that we don't ourselves have to invest the time into. It's just the real benefit there.
Exactly that.
So I've got a question here from the Twitch chat. One of the folks who are in India right now, I think. How did you ensure that you didn't suffer functional or performance or observability or serviceability regressions? This is always a bit of a risk when doing an application rewrite. So if I understand correctly, is how you ensure the performance of your application when you apply the web architecture. Is that right? So I think the question is more about if you're rewriting applications kind of from scratch, how do you avoid, I guess, losing all of the historical context that you have in those applications around monitoring and performance and so forth? You're sort of starting from scratch with a sort of fresh thing.
Yes. Okay.
What do you sort of move over, and what did you have to leave behind?
So everything that stays on-prem, stay as it is. We're not moving monitoring anything that we use on-prem with us. We start from clean sheet. So we at that time we don't even have like a monitoring system. We're using Datadog at the moment. We stand up like brand new one just for cloud. So we also look at the metrics that how they perform, how everything's working in the Datadogs, and compare with the existing one. So that's how we do them, the trace marks and benchmarks and how everything's work and perform. So the answer is we didn't bring anything on-prem because it's too much dependency, and try to tweak the on-prem into the cloud. I think it's a long journey to do. So.
And in terms of sort of matching like-for-like functionality, if you've rewritten the applications, do you bring test suites over so that you can tell it's doing the same thing? Like how do you make sure that what you've rebuilt does the same thing as what you had in the on-premise version?
So the way we testing and developing things, if we in the cloud, it have to change because we're dealing with different component, right? So the way we from dev test to production. The way to release the product is completely different. So we have to learn about the new way of release, the new way to testing and put the pressure, to the performance, everything brand new. So we have one of our platform standard is path to production. So we in the path to production we have to create a standard is in the start from the account structure. Number of account you have, right? For example, dev testing and that, and then it's how the VPC layout, and then how you're gonna test. We have to create everything from scratch.
Gotcha. Yeah, big job.
It is.
One more question from the chat from AWS Arch asks, do you use SSO for allowing teams to lay out infrastructure resources in each account? For example, do you generate AWS credentials via SSO?
So we got mix. At the moment, we're using like we call it like a phase 2 of using like IAMs at the moment, like central account, as authentications. And then for authentication and log on, people log on to the system. They're using the IAM most of the time at the moment. We are in the planning state at the moment to migrate into the AWS SSO. Well, as you know, that's similar to Control Tower. For the application, it's definitely from day one we're using TUI identity provider. So for authentication and authorization, it's no, you cannot get away with that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Hopefully that answers your question, AWS Arch. I think that's all we have time for today. Ray, thanks for joining us on the call. Interesting to hear about TUI's journey, which I guess still has a way to go. Like, how long do you expect to be still in this kind of phase of work?
Yeah, so we launch the application phase by phase. We do like a fly only and package only, and we also have soft launch as well. So we are successful. The trip itself very successful. Deploy not just the application that we build, and also the team that we have as well, and the knowledge that we are training people, and people gain some of the stuff. When we start in trip, people have zero knowledge about cloud, zero knowledge about AWS. That is a value for us a lot. So we almost there.
Yeah, excellent. It sounds like a big job. I think the bringing a huge number of people along on that ride, like having them rethink how they're building things, what they're responsible for, is quite an undertaking. So kudos. It's a good lump of work. Thank you, Ray. We will
thank you so much.
Let you go and move on to our next speaker. Thanks, Ray.